Because when it comes down to basketball, when it comes down to actual talent and not taking dirty jabs, not punching someone in the throat, not kneeing someone in the groin, not flagrant fouling someone from behind while their back is turned to you, right? Not taunting somebody for a long time with your finger, right? Not walking into Indiana saying, walk in your trap, take over your trap, right? Not all these things, not trying to fight Caitlin on the court. Those won't win basketball games. You know what will win basketball games? What this woman right here, Elizabeth Clark, does on a nightly basis. The face, oh my, the face of Marina Mabrey right here on your screen. Let this be a microcosm for the next 10 years against every opponent who tried to hard foul and do CC nasty. I mean,
look at this, man. Watch this. Marina always trying to score something like that. Yeah. Look, and it's Kelsey Mitchell. Come on.
Marina Mabrey's night in Toronto was supposed to end when the final buzzer sounded, but instead that was when the most talked about moment of the night began. Caitlin Clark walked toward the fans and started signing autographs while Marina Mabrey was captured nearby, and then the camera caught an expression that instantly sent social media into overdrive. But here's the important part: one facial expression cannot tell us exactly what someone was thinking. The real story is what happened around that moment.
This is crazy. I have never seen Kelsey Mitchell react like this. I honestly don't think I've ever seen Kelsey Mitchell get this mad. Get so mad to get up in somebody's face. What happened? What did Marina Mabrey do to evoke this out of Kelsey Mitchell? Also, you guys, look at Marina Mabrey's reaction. She doesn't even...
Because this wasn't simply a player standing near another player after a game. There had already been tension on the court. There was a history between these two players, and then something happened after the final buzzer that made the entire situation even more awkward. And if you want more WNBA stories where every few seconds brings a new twist, subscribe and let me know in the comments what you noticed first about this viral moment.
Funny, guys. Marina Mabrey. Now let's pull it up. I mean, she's sick. Look at this. She got one hand out. Look at this face. This is a face of defeat. And look at Caitlin right behind her, signing little kids' autographs. The kids didn't even want your damn autograph, Marina Mabrey. They didn't even want your damn autograph. And the memes.
Lexi Hull and Marina Mabrey had everyone laughing.
Mabrey and Lexi Hull.
But then another detail surfaced that made the viral picture even more interesting. Someone who was actually inside the arena said they witnessed the moment from only a few meters away. According to that eyewitness, Marina appeared to be trying to speak with Caitlin after the game, but Caitlin moved toward the fans and continued signing autographs on its own. That could simply be an awkward post-game interaction, except there was another confrontation that had already happened that night before the
Mia Wachtel with the San Francisco Chronicle. Mabrey's foul against you was upgraded to a flagrant 2. How are you feeling about that?
You know, I think Steph talked about it plenty after the last game, and it is what it is. You move on, and my focus is just on tonight. Thanks.
Autograph scene. Marina Mabrey and Kelsey Mitchell had a heated exchange on the court, and that suddenly raised a much bigger question: what exactly had happened during this game to create so much tension?
Any of the words I just said. Marina Mabrey is a hater of Caitlin Clark. Let's just call a spade a spade. Hard fouls at any chance he get. Went at it with Kelsey Mitchell today. Clearly had none of that same energy, right? Kelsey Mitchell, hand in the face. And don't forget, Marina Mabrey was ducking smoke when Kelsey Mitchell was all in her grill. As we see right here, Marina Mabrey was ducking, walking away from the smoke. You see, Kelsey was talking her crap to Marina Mabrey. She ain't want no smoke. She ain't say nothing. She walked
and
away
Kelsey
from Kelsey
Mitchell's reaction became one of the biggest surprises of the entire night. Commentary around the footage pointed out how unusual it was to see Mitchell get this heated with another player. She stepped directly into Marina's space while Marina eventually walked away instead of continuing the confrontation that created a strange contrast earlier in the game. The tension between Marina and Kelsey had become impossible to miss. Then after the final buzzer, Marina was once again at the center of attention while Caitlin Clark signed autographs. But if you think all of this started in Toronto, that's where the story gets even more complicated, because Marina and Caitlin already had a history.
But man, did I grow a fondness for Kelsey Mitchell watching her tell Marina Mabrey to get the F off me. I gotta be honest, this was awesome.
There's a smile on her face. I have not seen her interact with a player like this.
Yeah. This is it right here. She just puts the damn. Yes, Kelsey. This is what we need.
The tension between Marina Mabrey and Caitlin Clark was not created by this one game. A previous physical incident between the two had already received significant attention, and what makes that history especially important now is what Marina herself later said about it. She acknowledged that when it came to the Caitlin situation, her emotions had taken things too far. That changes the way many viewers look at the current controversy, because now there is more than one viral image. There is the previous incident, there is the confrontation from this game, and there is Marina's own admission that emotions had played a role. But Marina didn't stop there. She also talked about her place in the much bigger story surrounding the explosive growth of women's basketball.
Let's get it, all right? I had to start with this, though. This is hilarious, man. Now, we know Marina Mabrey, right? Showed she didn't like Caitlin Clark last year with the shove over, right? Shoving her over, talking that talk. And then we come into, like, I think it was the off season where she was talking about, yeah, you know, what I was doing was a little bit too much. She finally admits it, right? Then everybody kind of calmed down on her. She starts playing fantastically over there.
I guess that's the best way of describing the situation if you're from Marina Mabrey's perspective. Fuck around and find out. Like, you pissed off, you cheap shot Caitlin last year, you got in Kelsey's face today. Yeah, Caitlin does not want to talk to you. Caitlin didn't even look at her. Like, Marina's clearly trying to get her attention. Caitlin did not even look at her. And yeah, look, it is what it is. It's fever versus the world for these players. I think we all know that at this stage. They know they don't have any.
Marina once explained that she was willing to embrace the so-called bad guy role if it meant contributing to the larger story of women's basketball. Her point was that despite all the negativity and controversy surrounding certain players, women's basketball was receiving attention on a level it had never experienced before, and that is exactly what makes the Toronto scene so fascinating. Marina wasn't simply standing near Caitlin Clark, she was standing inside an arena where the visiting superstar had attracted an enormous amount of attention, with fans waiting for hours, a young fan bringing flowers, and the entire post-game atmosphere turning into another Caitlin Clark moment.
Caitlin Clark made the front page news, if I'm not mistaken, in Toronto, y'all. I mean, Caitlin made the damn news. It says front page in Toronto started. Hey, sellout crowds give Caitlin Clark pinch me moments in Toronto debut, from fans standing in line for hours before the game to a young fan delivering a bouquet of flowers. The excitement was palpable. Stated here, man, Canada get terrorist representative.
Remember when Marina Mabrey blindsided Caitlin Clark last season with a body check right after Clark got poked in the eye? She wasn't ejected for it, and Fever fans never forgot what happened. So when the Indiana Fever faced Mabrey again in Toronto, this wasn't just another basketball game. It felt like payback, and Sophie Cunningham and Kelsey Mitchell made sure Mabrey knew it before the night was over. Does Mabrey still deserve to be in the WNBA? Let me know down in the comments below.
But the most shocking visual from Toronto may not have been Marina's expression at all. It was the crowd. Footage showed so many Caitlin Clark jerseys that the commentator himself reacted with surprise, and these weren't only Indiana Fever jerseys, Iowa jerseys were visible too, which means some fans were following Caitlin from her college career all the way into the WNBA. When the camera pulled back and showed the entrance line, Caitlin's number 22 kept appearing throughout the crowd, so this wasn't simply a few Fever fans traveling to support their team. The footage showed a much larger Caitlin Clark following, turning up inside an opposing team's building, and that made the post-game autograph scene even more striking.
Like not every, but majority of the jerseys that you see here is either Fever jerseys, Caitlin Clark jerseys, etc., etc. You see even Iowa jerseys. That's what surprised me in the first part of this video. Hold on. This part right here, hold on, let's get to it. Not right here. Right here. The Iowa jersey, where is it? We just see it's right here. These Iowa jerseys right here, that's what kind of surprised me. I'm like, yo, this girl's motion is actually crazier than I thought, right? And you look at Marina Mabrey.
But there's one fact that makes the entire story much harder to dismiss as nothing more than hype. Caitlin Clark wasn't simply attracting attention in Toronto, she delivered on the court too. In her Canadian debut, Clark finished with 24 points, 4 3-pointers and 7 assists, while Kelsey Mitchell added 29 points in a huge offensive performance. And this wasn't just another random night for the Fever backcourt. Clark and Mitchell had reached historic territory together, becoming the WNBA's Record-setting duo for games in a single season where both players scored at least 20 points, so when fans stayed after the game to get Caitlin's autograph, they weren't waiting for a player who had simply generated headlines. They had just watched her put up another major performance.
For the most part. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you thought about that game from an enjoyment standpoint. Like I said, Kelsey Mitchell, 29 points for Kelsey Mitchell, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. She was a plus 20 on the floor, let you know how much she was cooking. Caitlin Clark, 24 points, 7 assists, 7 turnovers. 4 for 9 from the three-point line, 6 for 7 from free throws. Again, we already talked about the 7 turnovers. I'm not going to beat a dead horse.
And there's another detail that makes Caitlin's presence in Toronto even more unusual. The crowd
and then
wasn't
show
made
up to the game and drop 35. I could never do that. Like that's a different breed. But
are you a Pimento person?
Jerseys revealing just how far back some of these fans had been following her. The commentators themselves reacted to the sheer number of Clark jerseys in the crowd because the expectation was one thing, but the actual visual was something else entirely. Marina was playing in her own environment, yet the visiting player was generating a level of visible attention that was impossible to ignore, and suddenly that viral picture of Marina standing near Caitlin's autograph line wasn't just about one expression anymore. It became a snapshot of a much bigger shift happening around Caitlin Clark.
I mean, Caitlin made the damn news. It says front page in Toronto started 8. Sellout crowds give Caitlin Clark pinch me moments in Toronto debut. From fans standing in line for hours before the game to a young fan delivering a bouquet of flowers, the excitement stated here, man. Canada get terrorist representative.
And then came the moment that perfectly summarized the entire night. The game ended, but Caitlin Clark's night wasn't over. Fans stayed behind to get autographs, and one account referenced people waiting roughly 2.5 hours for the opportunity to meet her. Caitlin herself said she appreciated that support because for many of those fans this was a chance to finally meet a player they had spent years watching on television and online now. Put that next to the original viral image, Marina Mabrey on her home floor, Caitlin Clark playing for the opposing team. The game already finished and fans still lining up around Caitlin. That contrast is what turned a simple post-game moment into a viral story. And maybe that's why Marina Mabrey's viral picture isn't actually the biggest story here. Behind that one frame was an entire night, a home arena filled with visible Caitlin Clark support, a game where Clark produced 24 points and 7 assists, a heated confrontation involving Kelsey Mitchell, a previous history between Marina and Caitlin, Marina's own admission that emotions had once taken things too far, and finally fans staying behind after the final buzzer to get an autograph from the visiting superstar. You can debate what Marina was thinking in that exact frame because none of us can know that from a picture alone, but you cannot ignore what the cameras actually captured around it. Caitlin Clark walked into Toronto, performed on the court, drew a massive visible following, and still had fans waiting for her after the game was over. So perhaps the biggest question isn't why Marina Mabrey made that face. Perhaps the bigger question is how powerful the Caitlin Clark effect has become when even an opposing team's home arena can turn into another chapter of the Caitlin Clark story.
This is not just the Indiana Fever line. This is not just the Fever entrance. This is the whole entrance right here, which what it looks like at least, right? But just look around. All you see is Caitlin Clark jersey. You can barely even see a Tempo jersey, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like you got a Kawhi Leonard jersey right here. But God, this is crazy, man. The Caitlin Clark effect is insane. Look at this. Look at this, man. Just zoom in. You got little kids wearing it. You see the jersey right here. You see the jersey right here. Like you can
if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't just watch and leave. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications because there is a lot more WNBA drama, controversy, and behind-the-scenes reaction coming. And I want to know what you think. Was Marina Mabrey's viral expression really about Caitlin Clark, or are fans reading too much into one moment? Drop your take in the comments.